Today we're going to show you how to make steaks in the house, cast iron, beautiful prime grade steaks. We're going to make them on the stove and in the oven. I'm going to show you the procedure. Now we're using prime grade steaks, that's what we recommend. Try to bring them to room temperature. You're going to need an hour and a half's time, maybe two, depending on how thick your steaks are, to get them roughly to room temperature. Doesn't have to be exact. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to put in cold meat into the skillet when we do this, because it makes it harder to get the inside just right. We want medium rare. Today these steaks are running about 1 3/8, somewhere in there, 1 1/4, 1 3/8. If you use very thin steaks, these numbers are not going to work. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your steaks are really pretty close to room temperature, and you want to make sure that you don't use a really thin steak. Thin steaks cook too fast. I don't care if you even stick them in there for a minute aside and a minute aside, it's too fast. So don't buy thin steaks. They need to be at least 1 inch thick. You can get by with 3/4 of an inch, okay, whatever. Also, if you're going to do medium well or well done, turn the video off now, cancel it. You don't know how to cook a steak, and we're not going to teach you how to ruin meat. Okay? Not going to do it. So, this is medium rare. You might go medium, you leave it a little bit longer. It's a very simple recipe. Hard to mess it up. You should probably take and heat your oven to 550 degrees or whatever the hottest setting is. Do not use broil, okay? We're not broiling here. We are baking very, very hot, all right? Take your cast iron skillet and make sure your cast iron skillet is big enough for your steaks. Do not crowd your steaks. If you crowd your steaks, you'll steam them. You want to sear them. That's the whole purpose of doing it this way, okay? So in the oven we're going to go 550 degrees, and we're going to let that get hot. In fact, it's going to get so hot, it's going to smoke, okay? It's going to smoke, so get ready. On the cutting board we have 2 beautiful steaks. You can also see about 3 tablespoons of butter, you know, somewhere in that ballpark, and this is extra virgin olive oil. It's never even been kissed. It's first cold press olive oil, okay? And we have what's going to be freshly ground black pepper and kosher salt. Do you see the marbling here? Do you see the careful, wonderful marbling that we're talking about in this beef? Okay? That marbling and that flavor is what we want. Not your garlic powder or your onion powder or your thyme or anything else on that beautiful meat. Don't ruin your beautiful meat. You want to use pepper and salt, and not ground pepper from the store and iodized salt. You don't want to use that, okay? Don't want to use that. See? You see this? No, don't use it. This is wrong. This will ruin your food. Now, we're going to take the butter, and here's what you do with the butter. You can use butter or you can use extra virgin olive oil. Doesn't matter which one you use. You can whichever one you want to use is fine. I like a little bit of butter because it has a little bit of that beautiful sugar in there when it caramelizes, and it tastes just a little bit better. But if you've got extra virgin olive oil, that's fine. But you're going to want to coat the meat with your oil, whether it's butter or whether it's EVOO, before you salt and pepper it. Okay? That's critical. Now we've melted the butter. In case you're wondering what kind, I use the Kerrygold Pure Irish Butter. Doesn't matter. You don't have to use that kind of butter. That's the kind of butter I use because the fat content's a little higher and it tastes just a little bit better. Okay, use extra virgin olive oil. I just use a little dispenser like this, which squirts out the oil real convenient, right exactly where you want it to go. It's very handy. We're going to use butter today, all right? Now there's lots of ways you can apply this. A lot of people use a butter mop. You take a little mop and barbecue. A lot of people use them for barbecue. You just want a little bit of butter. See how that's going on there? Okay. See, that's going on there. It's very good. And what you want to do is you want to just rub that in. Now, it looks like it's hot. Like, how are you not burning your hands? It's not that hot, I promise you. It's probably not more than 85 degrees right now. So, we've got the outside coated. We're going to take the kosher salt, and I've got my grind on the minimum grind, and then have to grind it. But you see the coverage we're getting, all right? Looks like, oh wow, it's too much. You also want to do the cutting board, okay? You'll see why in a minute. Do the cutting board all around. It's okay if you make a little bit of a mess. Spill some salt, throw some over your left shoulder, okay? So here we go. Tap this around. Make sure that's good. And we're gonna put on, oh gosh, that's too much salt. No, we're trying to develop a crust here. You want salt, okay? Are you ready? Here comes the pepper. This is on a fine grind. We don't want huge, big particles. You turn that, see that? That's how you want it to look. You do both of them, and don't forget, okay? Don't forget, as we go, to do the area on the edge of the steaks, just like this, okay? Do the area on the edge of the steaks. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? I've seasoned one side of the steaks, and I'm just gonna pat that in there so it doesn't fall off, okay? I'm just gonna pat that down very nicely. And then remember where I told you to do it all the way around? This is why. You're going to do your sides, okay, of your steaks, because you want that crust on the sides too. Push that right into the meat and get that good and well coated. All right. All right, we're gonna do this one the same way. Do it. All right, we're gonna get all that goodness onto our steaks. In the oven is my cast iron skillet. Don't try to use a Teflon coated aluminum pan or stainless steel or whatever. Use cast iron, properly seasoned cast iron. That's key to making this work. Okay, here we go. We're gonna take a second. You're gonna see some smoke when you do, but that's normal. That's okay. We're gonna put that straight up here, and we're gonna turn the heat on, and we're gonna make that thing smoke even more. What we're looking for here is we're looking for 2.5 minutes aside in the cast iron skillet, and then we're looking for 2.5 minutes aside in the oven, and the steaks then rest for 5 to 10 minutes depending on your preference, and they're ready to eat. Okay, that is for medium rare, and depending on the thickness of your steak you might take it to medium. Here we go. Listen to the sear. I'm gonna flip the steak right back down in the goodness. There we go. And run that timer back up. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So our 2 minutes and 30 seconds on each side is up. Now the steaks go in the oven for guess what? Another 2 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, our first 2 minutes and 30 seconds is up. So we're gonna reach in here, we're gonna flip the steak. We're gonna do it quick. Back in, and that's it, 2 minutes and 30 more seconds. It's been 2 minutes and 30 seconds twice. So we're gonna turn the oven and the timer off, and here we go, we're gonna grab the steaks in all their beauty. There they are. Make sure that you get the steaks out of the heat, okay? Get the steaks out of the heat. While you're waiting on the rest, and a lot of people say 10 minutes on a rest, we say more like 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes is about right. Here's the deal, you don't want to eat it right now because it's super hot on the inside. It's gonna burn your mouth. If you slice it right now, the meat has had no time to reabsorb its juices and all that wonderful goodness that's inside that steak. Then we're gonna cut right through the steak here, give you an idea of what we're looking for on the inside. See that? That's what we're looking for. When you cut that and eat that, that's perfection.